Hey guys, this is Zoe from season 6 of Are You the One, as you know, and today we will be talking about just that. We didn't really talk very much about the reunion at all, and that is honestly what I get, I'd say, probably the most questions about, because it was a whole thing. And I have a lot to talk about, and I honestly don't even know where to begin. But, I'm just really hoping to not offend anyone. So, we're gonna see where this goes. First of all, I guess that we should go over the fact that we won. Yay! Who would have thought that we could have gotten it together? Everyone's like, there's no way that that's real. Like, that's gotta be fake. No, unfortunately, it is real, and we really got it together after 10 weeks. Like, I just can't believe it took us so long. That is why I'm saying unfortunate. It's not unfortunate that we won the money. Like, that's sick. It's like, yay, I can eat now and like pay my rent. People keep asking me why I never gave Ethan a chance. This is like actually a question that kind of irks me because, like, number one, you don't know that. Number two, that's insinuating that all of it was on me. Like, I just won't date Ethan. We were just friends. Pretty much. Like, I know that you're supposed to go there and find love, but like, I didn't. I found a bunch of like my best guy friends, and everyone's always like, oh, like friend zone. Well, no, that. I don't have to date everyone that's male. Like, it's not the friend zone, it's just you're my friend, and that's it. Like, yes, he was my perfect match, but I don't think that either of us were trying to like pursue a relationship. So I think it's unfair to be like, oh, well, you never gave Ethan a chance. It's like, neither one of us was pursuing a relationship. So, like, honestly, maybe I could pursue Ethan and he would be like, I don't want to date Zoe. There are very many undateable qualities about me. Very many. So, maybe he just didn't want to date me. No one knows. But the case was, we are friends, and I think that we both kind of knew that. And also, everyone likes to talk about the infamous Jersey trip. That's like, it feels scary leaving my lips because there's such negative connotations with like that whole thing. So you say the Jersey trip and everyone knows what you're talking about. It's like, ooh, the Jersey trip. And like, yeah, the Jersey trip. First I will talk about Anthony because I got a lot of heat for that because of Celeste. So after the show, we all ended up going to New Jersey together, and then from there we went to Michael's. And when we were at Michael's, we ended up going to New York City together. So in New York City, it was me, Michael, Audrey, and Anthony. Anthony had come in from California. I don't want to say that we were like kind of coupled off, but I mean, Audrey was like dating Michael at the time, so they were really like together. So then me and Anthony ended up like being alone a lot because, you know, like we're having alone time because they're being coupley. Yeah, so we're together and like we're drinking all day, you know, like Michael's taking cute pictures of us. We're like flirting all day. And of course, like I said, you know, we kind of had like a thing for each other. And yeah, so later that night we ended up getting very hammered drunk and we hooked up. But we also have to keep in mind that like Celeste and Anthony at this time were not together at all. They had broken things off completely way before that and had hooked up with multiple other people in between and were in like sort of relationships after that with like people. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that what I did was as wrong as people make it out to be. I mean, I know that everyone thinks that because, like, you know, you like to think that you can do no wrong, but I am a very faulted human. Like, I up all the time. But I don't think that what I did was like a horrible thing to Celeste. I think that what sucks is that like it had to be broadcasted on television. It's like we had to bring it up to the world, and then I think that that's just upsetting because it's like you're replaying all the things, and I think that that's like why it was so upsetting to her. And everyone's like, oh, well, she wouldn't have told Celeste. It's like, well, yes, I would have. I mean, me and Celeste talk about literally everything. Like, I would have. And honestly, like, I didn't think that she would even be that pissed. But I did want to tell her in person. Because what am I supposed to do? Text her and say that? Like, no. I didn't want to be like a I don't know. I didn't want to be a fucking dick. So I was like, I'm gonna wait until I see Celeste. I knew that she was coming to see me. So I was like, I'm just gonna wait till I see her. And it was not a huge ordeal. But people make it out to be. People were more pissed off at me than Celeste was, because she really wasn't mad. Me and Celeste are still tight as hell. We literally FaceTime all the time. She called me yesterday to see how to make chicken for her mans. So everyone really, really needs to stop saying that I'm a fucking asshole on the internet. All right, and next we're going to talk about Kareem. So, what happened was, we're in New Jersey, we're pre-gaming, everyone's having a great time, you know, like, I am under the impression that he's not with Olivia. I was nearly certain that he wasn't. However, even if I did know that he was with Olivia, even if I knew that, it is still not on me if he's going to cheat on someone that he's with. That's not on me. Sorry, it's not my fault. Like, I have been demonized so much for this, but like, I wasn't aware that they were together. This is the biggest thing. I didn't know. And I would not have hooked up with him if he had a girlfriend. I'm not like that. I would never do that. Number one, I've been cheated on. Number two, I really like Olivia as a person. I really do. I think, I mean, all of our differences aside and everything, I genuinely like her. I would not hook up with her boyfriend. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't hook up with anyone's boyfriend. So, you know, we're leaving the bar. We hear that one of our f***ing songs is on. We're like, oh, let's all go dance. You know, we're all f***ing the worst. So we all start dancing. Kareem's like dancing with me a little bit, you know, like kind of grinding up on my ass. I have a big ass. It's kind of hard to not grind on it because I just put it all over the place. So, you know, that's going on. And we're kind of like holding hands, like walking from the bar, and just nothing serious, just drunk and having fun. So we get back, and me and Kareem were like alone in a room. We were talking, and not really like about anything serious, like we're just like around. And, you know, we kissed a couple times, but it was whatever. And he also kept telling me that I have pretty feet and like touching my feet. So I was like, someone likes toes, I guess. Yeah, so after that, I was like, he's like flirting with me. I was like, I don't know, like, are we gonna hook up? Is that actually gonna be like a thing? So he's really, really f***ed up at this point. He was like, he was throwing up. He was like, he was a mess. And no judgment, I'm a mess every day. Always. But yeah, so he's just like really sloppy. He's throwing up. I gave him a bunch of pretzels. I was like bringing him water. Just trying to nurse him back to health, make sure he doesn't die. So at that point I was like, okay, never mind. All the plans that I thought we had to hook up, they're not gonna happen. Which is fine. After that, he's really drunk. We're talking out on our Airbnb had like a roof area. So we're sitting out on the roof. Me and Kareem were just kind of like talking in that way where it's like it could have been something, like you knew that we felt some type of way. Just kind of like Zoe. I was like, oh, Kareem, don't even look at me like that. Like yeah, it could have been a whole thing, but it wasn't. You know, because he was, this is the thing, he was coupled off with Olivia since literally the first day too. They didn't show this, but we were playing Truth or Dare, and of course I picked Truth because I'm a big fat and someone was like, if you could go on a date with anyone in the house, who would it be? And big stupid me was like, Kareem. And then like right after that, Olivia went and like literally 5 minutes later, she went and like started making out with him, and I was like, well, it's never gonna happen, so that's fine. But yeah, so like really the whole time, like I thought that Kareem was my match. He was the person like I consistently like liked from the beginning. There was just something about him. I mean, obviously he's really funny and I think that he's good looking. So yeah, those obvious things, but like there's just something there. Like he's always very charismatic, you know, he's the life of the party. And I just really like was drawn to that. So, I mean, I was like, I liked Kareem since the beginning and I thought he was my match for a good portion of the time. So, I mean, I felt like it was like going to happen. Like if him and Olivia weren't together, like I figured eventually it would happen. It's just one of those things. Bound to happen. And yeah, so later that night, you know, after we were talking on the porch, we ended up going to bed. And Kareem was laying on the floor. I was laying on the couch. He was like below me on this like big pillow thing that they had at the Airbnb. We stuffed way too many people in there. Not the point. But my foot was kind of like dangling off the couch. And then like I could like feel like a hand. He was just kind of like grabbing my foot. And I was like, there he is again with that foot. I was like, okay, what do I do? Like, what do I do? So went down there and I was like, I just kind of like crept near him, and he's like, like we shouldn't. And I was like, all right, whatever. I'm just gonna go to bed. Like, I'm good. It's fine. So I got back on the couch, and then he started doing it again. And then he was like kissing my ankle, and I was like, okay. I'm like, you just told me that we couldn't hook up, but now you're literally about to kiss up my kneecap. Like, what? I'm getting mixed signals here. So then I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna let this happen. So then, you know, it just, next thing led to next, and then we hooked up. And whatever. You know, it is what it is. It happened. I didn't know they were together. I was under the impression that they weren't. You know, when someone does things like this consistently throughout the night, says that they're jealous of you kissing someone else, you don't think that they have a girlfriend. Like, you just don't. And I mean, it was like the whole night. It was like, even some of the girls said it. They were like, yeah, like you could tell Kareem was kind of like looking around for you when we were at the bar. It's like, I think that everyone kind of saw it happening. And I wish that more people said that at the reunion. Like, I wish that people said that it wasn't just like on me, because it's very easy to blame the girl. That's always how it is. People always blame the girl. And it's so unfair. Like, I don't think that I deserve to get so shit on when I wasn't even aware. And like, honestly, even if, like I said, even if I was aware, I think that it's still his fault. Yeah, that would make me like a fucking asshole. People didn't pay any attention to like Kareem's part of this because they were so focused on me. It was like, oh, make Zoe the fucking slut at the reunion. It was like, oh, she hooked up with Anthony and Kareem was dating Olivia. So it was like, yeah, it made me look bad. Like, I would not have done it if I knew that he had a girlfriend, but it just didn't seem like he did. It really didn't. And other people thought that too. And no one said that at the reunion. No one stuck up for me and said, well, I didn't think that he had a girlfriend either. Oh, he said to me that they weren't dating, because that's what happened. No one said that. And the thing that bothers me the most is that people will say things like, oh, well, you signed up for a reality show. What did you think was going to happen? You think that people weren't going to talk about you? Of course I did. We know going into this that people are going to talk about you, but I don't think that I should have to accept it because of that. It's like, yes, I expected it, but I don't think that I can't just sit back and like take it. Like, obviously I'm going to be upset by it. I am a human. I read these things and I internalize them. Like, I hate when people hate me. I try my hardest to be a good person, be friends with everyone, always get along with everyone. And then it was like, number one, this just makes it look like I'm because the way that they portrayed it, that's just how it looked. I'm like, well, great. Now people don't get to see how I really am. And I hate that. I was having a horrible time in my actual life when all this was going on. And to have everyone hating me across America, it really sucked. Luckily though, I did have people that stuck up for me. You know, I had Alexis say something and she really came to my aid, and I love her. I've always loved her, but I will always appreciate her for that because she was one of the only ones who said anything. And, you know, there, of course, were people online that stuck up for me and they were like, it's not fair to do that to Zoe, to just sit there and like come at her like that. Like, that's not cool. And you guys, if any of you were the ones who said this, just know that at that time, you don't even know how much I appreciate that, because it was a bad time. So, oh, I feel like I'm gonna cry. So for anyone to be sticking up for me was, I don't even know. It means everything. It really does. So I hope that you guys found this informative, and I hope that maybe if you were one of those people that, you know, thought differently of me, I hope that maybe I gave you some clarity and maybe you can see things from my side and like at least understand where I'm coming from and just empathize with me a little bit, because no matter what I am, I'm on TV, whatever. At the end of the day, I'm a fucking person and I make mistakes. So whatever happens, or whatever happened, I just hope that you guys can at least empathize with me a little bit.